Good Tuesday afternoon. Thanks for checking out this video from Valley Weather Consulting. I'm meteorologist Ed Valley here to talk about the winter storm that we're going to be dealing with here over the next 24 to 48 hours across the Northeast. And because of that, we have winter weather advisories up across the Appalachians of Western Maryland and portions of West Virginia. And then we have winter storm warnings up across Eastern PA, pretty much everywhere east of I-81 here, including the city of Philadelphia, including the city of New York, including Scranton, Allentown, Hartford, New Haven. And then we have winter weather advisories up across portions of eastern Massachusetts, where a lot less in the way of snowfall is expected here. And we'll talk about why that is here in just one second. Also, for our friends up to the north, we have winter storm warnings up for pretty much all of the North Country here, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. It's going to be a big one for a lot of places here. So we'll get right into it. And this video is essentially just going to kind of be an overview of the storm and what's kind of forcing these features. And I'm not going to get too in depth with the meteorology because the audience, some people care, some people don't. If you have any questions regarding the technical aspect of the storm, please feel free to reach out. Happy to discuss. I love talking shop with pretty much anybody who wants to talk weather. So anyway, this is what I'm looking at. I'm taking a look here at the 700 millibar low pressure here and where the heights are going to be. And you want to be, for your heaviest axis of snowfall, you want to be on the northwestern side of your 700 millibar low pressure system. And this is some of the issue I'm seeing with some of these runs. For example, this is the latest GFS model. You notice here's the 700 millibar low pressure right here, right over New York City. So to me, that would I would immediately expect this surface low pressure to be somewhere in here, traveling northeastward as the system matures and eventually reaches its maturity off the New England coast. Now, when you have this 700 millibar low pressure system right over the city, that adds your best convergence and your best, what we call frontogenesis, the lift in the atmosphere off to the north. And you can see that in a banded feature here during Wednesday afternoon across the Poconos into the Catskills, maybe even into the Hudson Valley. Ahead of this low pressure, you're also going to get a very good thump of snow on the front end across southern New England. That's pretty much a guarantee. Now, the big question is, where does this mid-level center go? Because if it does indeed travel right over southern New England, here it is. You can see it right there. That's going to be an issue because we're going to be dealing with a dry slot coming in here with much lower relative humidity at cloud level. That's going to cause the precipitation to shut off. So this type of situation needs to be monitored. I think the GFS is a little bit too far west. Here's the NAM solution. I really don't mind this solution as well as the RGEM regional Canadian model. We notice tomorrow midday into the early afternoon that initial thump on the front side across southern New England back into eastern PA. And you notice as that upper level or mid-level center moves to the north and to the east, here it is right over Scranton, Pennsylvania. You notice the heaviest lift is going to be on the northwest side. Again, Poconos, Catskills, Hudson Valley, with a strong southerly flow coming right into southern New England that may, again, shut off the precipitation, especially the farther east one travels, especially east of I-91. Now, the regional Canadian model also has been performing pretty well, in my opinion here. Also has that mid-level center right over New York City. And as you move forward, there it goes. It goes right up into portions of southern New England. So that, again, screams for this strongest deformation band to be right in here. So that's been a big driver in my thinking in the forecast here. And I'll run through the simulated radar so you have an idea of what to expect. I want to use the 4 kilometer or 3 kilometer NAM for this because I think it shows the setup pretty well. We get an area of low pressure to develop here tomorrow morning off the Jersey coast, and it will slowly tuck its way in to just east of New York City here as we move into tomorrow evening, and then potentially over over Long Island and eventually southeastern Massachusetts. I think this is on the western fringe of what could happen. This is the latest NAM position right here at 7 p.m. tomorrow, right over Islip. I think it may be a little bit further off to the east. I think it does something like this right in here. So even still, you're probably going to get mixing in southeastern areas, and you're going to get a dry slot to punch right in here as well. That's going to shut off the precipitation. So you can kind of see that already on the data here. Here it goes. Heavy precipitation tomorrow midday. And then notice how the heaviest axis of snow is really back across this area, which is pretty much exactly what the upper level features tell us. So that makes sense to me. And then notice by tomorrow evening, the precipitation continues across Pennsylvania, Jersey, New York, but it shuts off across eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, potentially even in the form of rain to begin with. And temperatures, again, you can kind of see you're going to be dealing with a pretty stout coastal front developing in Massachusetts, and temperatures into the 30s all across southern New England. You're going to have to go back into the Poconos, Catskills, and northern New England to really have a true winter storm here with temperatures well below freezing. Temperatures elsewhere will be closer to 32. So with all of that said and all of that data, here is our forecast, our going forecast. This got updated just at 2 p.m. Notice along that frontogenetic boundary, there it is. Heaviest snow across the northeastern PA into the Catskills, Berkshires, and southern Greens. Also, another band might set up somewhere across southeastern New Hampshire, the Monadnock region, into the northern Worcester Hills. But notice the mixing southeast, pretty much Philly, New York to Boston on south and east. You're probably going to mix at some point. But just northwest of that I-95 corridor, I think, is going to be a fairly sizable snowfall, very similar to March 14th of last year, with the heaviest snowfall back across PA and New York. So that's all I have. If you have any questions, make sure to follow me on Twitter at EdValleyWX. Otherwise, have a great day and enjoy the snow.